just a tiny bit of wheel slip going on with the engine. So anyway, let's put that, whoops, oh no, dropped the remote. Oh, that's awesome. So we can't change our track at this point in time because I've just lost the remote. Just playing with the lighter here as our train runs away from us. Perfectly normal. Oh man. Brakes, gently, gently with the brakes. Gently, 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 gently. Oh, wagons are banging into us. Oh no, this might be the end actually. The switch was set correctly. Yeah. You see how fast that kind of got away from us? This wagon's derailed as well. And so has this one. Yeah, so the whole train's derailed pretty much. Hello and welcome back. This is Derail Valley. Now this little simulator or game, you could say, has received quite a bit of attention lately from the gaming community. And I thought I'd cover it today because even though it's not really marketed as a simulator as such, it's actually quite realistic from what I've seen. I did take the plunge and purchase it probably about a week ago, and I haven't really had too much time to play it so far. I've sunk a few hours into it. It's still very much early access, but I thought I would just do a quick first look video today, and we'll start by going around the locomotive here that we've got. This is the base model, or I guess the starting locomotive that you receive in the game or simulator. You'll notice that the visuals are actually quite cool, but the main thing you'll notice is that it's actually first person, so you can actually walk around and you can basically act completely autonomously outside of your train or your locomotive. So you can see here just hopping onto the locomotive itself. You can go inside. You can notice the sound changes when you're inside as well. Yeah, I'm actually quite excited about this one because I've actually done a few little runs so far in the game, just moving some rolling stock here and there, and it's really quite realistic. All the gauges and switches pretty much work. They're all clickable. You can see here, even though I'm playing this in first-person mode, this is actually a VR-based simulation or game. But obviously I'm not using a VR headset as such at the moment. You do have inventory here that you can normally control with your VR setup, but obviously I'm just using the game in the non-VR mode. So one of the things I quite enjoy is everything kind of has physics, so you can put your wallet on the dash there like I've done. Stuff moves around, you know, as you drive your train as well. You've got access to the map, obviously, which has quite a bit of industry on it. So the basic premise of this simulator is basically that you can run your locomotive or locomotives around the map, pick up resources, wagons, be it steel or oil, whatever it is, iron ore, food, all sorts of resources basically, and move it to and from certain destinations to make money. And with that money you can unlock more things. Not only that, you can do repairs like you can see here. So we can fill up with oil, coal, sand, fuel. Now obviously this is a diesel electric, but yeah, there is a steam engine in here as well. So you've got oil and coal. Yeah, so it's actually quite cool. I'm quite interested in this because even though it's not marketed as a simulation, like I said before, I mean, it's probably a VR simulator, but they haven't actually called it a train sim as such, perhaps. Just the utter freedom of movement that you get, though, is actually quite fantastic. The reason why I've chosen to cover this today as well is there's just recently been an update to this. One of the things they've added, as you can see there, is just a teleportation feature, which you can normally use in virtual reality mode, but I'm using that in non-VR mode at the moment. So this is build number 54 in the early access release of the game, which is on Steam. Here is the steam locomotive, just quickly before we go any further. I haven't unlocked this quite yet. I do need to make a bit more money first before I can purchase the license for the steam locomotive in the game. It certainly does look the part, and I think this game would really shine with a VR headset. So hopefully I can acquire one of those quite soon. You can do all sorts of things like shovel coal and whatnot. So you can see there I've got $2,000 in my wallet. I think the license for the Steam engine is around $20,000 or whatever it is. So speaking of which, let's head into the station office. Now, at various little depots around the map, you've normally got a station office like this where you can pick up your jobs to actually make money. So it could be a haul job, it could be a shunting job. I'm just going to choose a freight haul job today. So basically going from one location to another and delivering some cargo, and that's a tidy $8,000 there to be earned. So you can see there's wagons 10, 11 and 12 that need to be picked up. So if we come over here, and I must say for early access they've actually done quite a good job with this game so far. I mean, there are some niggles which you'll see as we get underway. But yeah, you can see here, so that's 10, 11, and you got stats on each car as well. So it's about 45 tons per wagon, and this must be number 12. Yep, so number 12. So the work order says 10, 11, 12, so let's go pick them up. Just going to head back to the locomotive now. And you can chuck this down there like so. Okay, so we need to head over to those wagons. I like to put the map here on the little, just perched up there. Turn on the fuses. It's the main fuse, I think. And then crank the starter. Cool. So you've got your cab lights, headlights. Headlights, I'm not sure if they're actually implemented just yet, but whatever. Turn on the cab lights, so your gauges light up as well, which is handy. Now the engine temp, which I'm just pointing at there, is actually quite critical. So do ensure that if you're playing this game that you keep an eye on your engine temps. They will increase as your load increases and your throttle position increases as well. The engine does shut down if it overheats. I think there's going to be damage and persistency eventually. No RPM gauge implemented as yet. I'm sure that's coming soon. Let's flip on the fan there. You got your sand as well, so sand does run out, so you got your sand gauge there. Fuel as well as oil in the engine, which also gets used up as well. So yeah, there's the speedo there, the speedometer, obviously very, very handy. You've got your train brake here, which is just your air brake. Now this little handy device here is a coupler, so you can, once you've hooked up additional wagons, you can select your wagons, and the green and red buttons there just either couple or uncouple your wagons. Whoops, we're actually moving, aren't we? Hang on, let's just give a bit of throttle. Oops, reverser. Now, I'm quite a little veteran, I guess, of train simulators. I've been playing them for quite a while now. So, but even so, I must say, just having driven or having played this game, I know that it's not really, you know, like I said, it's not being marketed as fully realistic, perhaps. Not sure, but yeah, you'll see in just a moment. Just hopped off here. Just bear in mind that this is actually not how you're meant to operate a railroad. So don't take anything that I'm doing here as gospel. But yeah, just the amount of freedom that this game gives you, but also the physics as well, which I was just saying before. You've got things like slack in your train that you need to manage. So particularly when you apply the throttle or apply the brake, you need to be very gentle in the way that you do those actions, because you'll notice that the wagons will clang into your locomotive, and you know, if you're going around the curve and you jam on the brake real hard, you might find that you'll derail. So yeah, you've got to be very gentle in your actions. And there's little cues in the game, like sounds and just visuals that let you know what your train's doing whilst you're underway. So yeah, it's actually quite involved, and there's a lot of concentration to do as you drive along. Lots to pay attention to. There goes a switch. So what I'm doing now is just going to head towards the main line and then change the switch and then head back in the other direction to pick up our cars, our wagons. I'm just going to give it a bit more throttle. Some of the areas on this map are quite mountainous as well, so pretty interesting when it comes to powering up the hill or controlling the train or trying to control it. Oops, I think we just ran through those points. Big deal. So yeah, this video is going to be a little bit long today, so feel free to skip to any of the chapters that you think, oops, that need the lighter, that you want to see. Oops, they're working on that as well. Some of the objects physics aren't great at the moment. What I'm looking for is the junction remote control. There it is. So as you can imagine, with a VR headset, virtual reality headset, you can do all of this just by pointing and clicking. So the switch is now set the way we want it. There's an inventory there at the bottom of the screen. You've only got a limited inventory to hold certain objects. So you can see there it's full. So I'm just gonna drop this down. Oops, not on the ground, but there will do. Okay, so let's put her into reverse. And gently make our way back. Not too fast. Gotta watch your speed. Oops, don't need the lighter. Really want to get rid of that lighter. The lighter is used for the steam locomotive, obviously, to light the fire. Just want to watch these points as we move our locomotive down the line. What I'm doing here is I'm just going to get off the train and make sure, or get off our engine. It's not a train just yet. Just make sure that these switches are set correctly to lead us to the correct siding, which has our wagons. That's that one done too. Again, you would not do this in real life. You would not leave your engine whilst it's in motion. Okay, that's it. I think we're all set here, so we'll continue heading down. I'll board our engine again. Okay, and just get ready on the brake because we've got our wagons coming up shortly. So I think probably the best way to head, so we need to go to Harbour and Town, which is in the southeast corner there. So I think if we head in the direction that we are now, hang on, or can we go the other way? Not sure. Hang on, let's just hook up the wagons for now anyway. So get onto the brake and watch the little coupling device there, the little green panel, little green thing. There you go. So see, it's giving you range information now. It's counting down as to how far I am from the wagon, and shortly it should say in range. It's getting down to the wire. There it is, in range, in range. So now we just hit the green button and we are coupled. So you can see there's 3 wagons. So by rotating this knob back and forth, you can select where you want to brake the train if you need to do that for shunting purposes, and just hit the red button to brake at that point. Obviously don't want to do that right now. We're all coupled up. You can see there's a bit of gap in between the coupler, so obviously that's something they need to work on. It is early access, folks, so there's quite a few little niggles with the game so far, but yeah. So 46,000 kilograms, so about 46 ton per wagon. And if you look at our engine, it's about 38 tons. So each of these wagons is heavier than our engine. So of course this is just a shunter, so it's not really designed for hauling cargo, but it's more for shunting wagons around the depot and whatnot. So it's not really a full-size engine. Anyway, let's see how we go today. It's just 3 wagons on the back, so should be fairly straightforward. Just increase the throttle slowly and wait for the slack to get taken up. So first wagon, second wagon, and you'll notice how the speed of the engine reduces as the slack has been taken up. And at this point we're fully stretched out in the train, so we can start to apply more throttle. You need to be really gentle with all your throttle and brake applications. I've seen videos of some people actually just getting pretty sort of harsh on the controls. That only causes trouble down the line. Pun intended, I guess. So many puns that could be made. Okay, so just heading back to the main line now so that we can get underway. Want to keep your speed reasonable through the depot. Okay, so let's see. I was actually going to go forward, like in the direction I'm going, but I've just realized if I do that, we need to go to Harbour and Town, which is in the southeast corner there. If I go straight up, hang on, right, no, it looks like I can't actually go that way. That does seem like a longer way anyway, so okay, it looks like we'll have to go backwards actually. So we can't go this way, the direction we're headed now. Ah man, okay, so we should probably stop and continue in the direction I'm pointed now actually. But that means we're going to be pushing our load rather than pulling it. I've got the brake on, but it just does not want to stop. 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 Just add a little bit more brake there. So you can see already the physics are actually really quite well done. And just the act of driving this train down the rails, you'll see just to say, there's so much to look out for and to concentrate on. The train could run away from you. You know, you could come upon a pretty sharp curve if you're not paying attention as well. You could lose your load if you're careless very easily. So it really gives you a sense of the weight behind you. Yeah, so I'm going to have to go in this direction I'm pointing right now. So if I take the load back onto one of these sidings, just change this switch so that we go that way. Get back onto the train. Get back in my engine. So yeah, what we're doing now, you can't really do in a lot of the train simulators out there. You can't run around, walk around, inspect your load, all that sort of stuff. I've actually been looking at the roadmap for this simulation, and there's quite a few little features that they've got coming up in the future. So yeah, just looking at the map again. So I think if we head in this direction, where's that map? There it is, put it there. Okay, so if we head in this direction, we should make it to Harbour and Town. Just make a few left turns there. And we should hopefully be going on the right track. There's another pun. Okay, I don't think this is probably the best way to do this. Just bear with me one sec. I think what I'll do instead is I'll move these wagons onto the original siding, and I should have done this beforehand, so apologies. I've just left this little bit in here just to show you that you do have to kind of keep your wits about you when you're thinking about how you're going to perform the jobs in this game. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with pushing the load, I guess, either, but I think it's better controlled to actually pull the load rather than push it. So what I'm going to do now, well, let's just show you the Wheelslip physics. Just jammed on full throttle, there goes the Wheelslip light, and look at that. You can obviously see that we've got just a tiny bit of Wheelslip going on with the engine. Okay, maybe a little bit more than just a tiny bit. We don't have our sand running at the moment, so yeah. Obviously this is not how you would drive your locomotive in real life, but this is just showing off the track physics and Wheelslip adhesion physics that they've put in this simulation. Oops. get back onto the loco. Let's stop that baloney. So you can see there the engine temperature's really risen up as well as a result of that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back these cars back into the original siding. There's the sander, and you see how when you turn the sand off, the wheel slip increases as well. Alright, so I'm not sure if you noticed that you could see the wagons actually slam into our engine there as we slowed down. Okay, so let's I'm going to take a little break here. I'll be back right after this. Going to move these wagons into the original siding and switch ends for our engine. Okay, so bear with me while I do this. Don't worry about what I'm doing right now. Obviously don't want to do this in real life. Okay, so here we are on the other end of the wagons. I've placed them in the original siding. So we're going to roll forward now, hook up, and then we'll start on our way up the track. So let's go ahead and roll forward. So that's the direction we're headed in eventually once we hook up our load once again. So let's change the switch first. Just put that there. Okay, so let's roll forward, adjust the reverser to forwards, the brake. Okay, so here we are just in front of the load now. Just going to inch forward very, very gently and just show you guys the physics again. Okay, it's good enough. Now hit the green button, brake off. Okay, so that's it, we're hitched up. So let's roll forward. The only thing is, I guess, we'll be heading in this direction here, so we'll be driving the locomotive backwards. Not a big deal. But basically we'll head down, take the first left, take the next left as well. There's a bit of a straightaway, a few curves there, straight on, and then through a little wiggly section here, and finally take another left and over to harbour and town. So it's a fair bit of track to cover, and yeah, we'll see if we can't derail. Okay, so I just want to start off very gently. Watch the indicator for the speed, because when you see that it sort of jolts around, that's when you know that the wagons are actually picking up the slack. So looks pretty smooth at the moment, the indicator. Looking good. Okay, looks like we're taking up all the slack. It's only 3 wagons after all, so it's not going to take much time to take up the slack in the train. The important thing is you don't want to sort of jam on the throttle immediately from a standstill, because I mean in real life you do things like brake couplers and things like that. I'm not sure if they're going to put that into the simulation, but that would be absolutely fantastic if they did. You really have to be easy on all the actions that you take, so just gently increasing the throttle now that the slack's been taken up. And we need to go straight here, and the switch is set properly, so that's good. Thank God, because I didn't check before. Oops, there's the lighter again, don't need that. Okay, so we'll just continue straight. We should be going straight here. We don't want to go off in that direction. That's the wrong direction over there. So yeah, we are on the right track. So the next turn is going to be a left, so we have to look out for a switch coming up soon. Just increase the throttle a little bit here. Okay, it's all looking good so far. Nice track ahead of us, nice and straight pretty much. I've got a switch up ahead, but we'll be running against it, so we don't really have to worry too much about that. Yeah, so we're driving the locomotive backwards here, the instrumentation behind us, but it's not a big deal. Beautiful view out the window here. And we're doing almost 30 kilometers an hour now. In the simulation, you don't want to do more than about 30 to 40 kilometers an hour in most cases, unless it's like a real straightaway. And even in that case, I would not recommend doing more than about 50 kilometers an hour. So just gonna throttle back a little bit here. And we've gone through the switch okay. You see a few little artifacting there in the graphics. It's still early access, so. Okay, so looking good. We'll just continue. Hang a left coming up soon. Ooh, hang on a sec. It's really slowed down now. Oh god, it's almost stopped. Let's just, oh no. Oh god, we've lost it. It's done. Oh man. This is quite a hill, this one. I didn't even realize until too late. I was looking at the map, see? So this classic example of how deceiving it can be. You really got to pay attention. So let's apply the sand and try and start again. Got the brake on. Take the brake off slowly, slowly. Apply the throttle, come on. Throttle, throttle. More throttle. No, she doesn't want to go. We're still being pulled backwards by gravity, so we're on quite an incline here. I don't want to slip the wheels. I've got the sand going. Got the throttle on pretty hard now. Wow, okay, it's only just moving. If I turn off the sand now, we're going to have wheel spin city, so... Oh, this is terrible. You can really feel the weight behind you as you try to pull these wagons up this hill. Thing is, the sand's not going to last forever either, and we're really not making much headway here, so... Ooh, okay, it's slipping. I can't give it any more throttle. You hear that? This is terrible. Okay, we're starting to roll back now as well. So let's kill the throttle and just let it roll back. No, this is not working. Kill that throttle. We're gonna have to roll backwards. Now this is highly irregular, highly illegal, probably. And look how quickly it's picking up the speed coming back down the hill as we go through that switch. Let's start applying some brake. What I want to do is just go back to the plateau and take another run at this hill. Obviously don't want to do this. Ideally you should be reading the track and you should know your route and how much power you need at all times. So put the brake on, and geez, it's taking a long time to stop. Okay, finally stops. Okay, so we're kind of at a plateau, taking the brake off and we're not moving. So yeah, look at that, it's quite a incline there. I didn't notice before. So yeah, got quite a bit of weight behind us, so let's take another run. Okay, let's turn off the sand. You can see there we've already used up half of our sand. So alright, gently apply the throttle. Okay, come on, let's do this. So let's take another run at this hill, hopefully without sand, and see if we can get over the hump. So let's apply more throttle, come on. And we're starting the incline now, so more power. Ooh, we're starting to slip again. Go easy on the throttle. Wheels are slipping again. Let's watch that speed. It's coming down. Okay, we're holding about 20 k's an hour. It's not too bad. I think we should be fine. Wow. I must say I've never really experienced anything like this with other train simulators. It's just the wheel slipping action. You don't get that in other train simulators. The wheel slip physics, I mean, in Rail Simulator or Train Simulator 2019 or whatever it is, there are some add-on locomotives that give you the wheel slip physics, but just having it natively within an engine like this is just, it's great. This really makes me want to invest in a VR headset as well. But anyway, for the moment, playing in 2D mode is more than satisfactory. The reason why I'm playing with this build as well, this version I guess, that's only just come out over the past maybe 24 hours or so, is because they've recently made a bunch of enhancements to the non-VR mode, which is the mode I'm playing in now. So they've added resolution options. You can now do teleporting like I was doing before. You can use the keyboard to control the train. You've got access to another garage vehicle, secret vehicle I think it is. Yeah, that is a bit of an issue at the moment as well. There's just random placement of rocks on the track, which doesn't affect anything physically. But yeah, hopefully they'll clean that up. So yeah, there's been a few sort of non-VR enhancements to this early access release over the past 24 or so hours. So if you haven't picked up this title yet, I would highly recommend, if you're into train simulations at all, even if you don't have a VR headset, this game is definitely worth checking out, and it's not too expensive either. Okay, so we're looking good. There you can see there's some odd placement of trees on the track, but we need to set that switch accordingly so that we head to the left hand side. Just go easy on the throttle here. Don't want to run through the points and the curves too fast. Okay, so I just want to run through some features of this simulation whilst I drive. So yeah, hopefully nothing happens. Yeah, the track looks pretty good up ahead, so let's just go through a few features. So there's obviously derailment physics. Now I've seen the windows and stuff like that smash when you run off the rails sometimes, and your locomotive can fully tip over. Your wagons can roll down the cliff, for example, if you're not careful. Railway physics, coupling, uncoupling, track switching, tractive effort, which we saw before, the wheel slipping as well, engine, wheels, body, basic damage as well, and advanced sound, so we can hear them right now as well. What I'm doing here just quickly, just to sort of interrupt the feature list, is just making sure that I've got the slack taken up in the train correctly. Okay, yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so some other features are, of course, flat cars, hoppers, tank cars, box cars, refrigerated cars, passenger coach as well, apparently. You can take part in basically any job that you can find, and those are located in the offices, in the station offices. You earn money basically by completing these jobs. Everything's looking good. Hang on a sec, hang on. Just make sure that the switch. Oh, that was close. See, this is what happens when you distract yourself by reading the feature list. Put that there for now. Okay, yeah, so as you're driving along, obviously got to make sure your switches are set correctly. I'm just going to add a little bit of throttle here. And watch the gauge, the speedometer there. Looks like the slack's fine, so we can add some more throttle. Oh, no it's not. See, when the needle does that, you know that the slack hasn't quite been taken up in your train. So try and keep those sorts of power applications gentle until you can see the needle is nice and steady, and then you're meant to add power after that. So yeah, it's all about managing your train. Application of throttle and brake is very important. Okay, so what else? Everything looks good here. So the feature list, you got industries, so apparently 15 industrial complexes, 30 different types of cargo. You've got the depots, station offices, maps. 256 square kilometers apparently. 200 kilometers of track, tunnels, viaducts, signs. Yeah, so there's quite a few little features in the simulation. Picking up a speed here, as we can see. Okay, this is a pretty good section of track here. So other things coming soon for non-VR mode is, well, basically they're all what I read off to you before. Ability to teleport, keyboard driving, resolution options. CPU optimization is coming up soon. It didn't make it in this release. But that's coming up soon. I must say it's actually running really well on my machine, and my machine's several years old, so definitely not too bad at the moment. See, the wagons are pretty happy behind us there. Just crossing the viaduct here. You can see the speed through the window there, doing about 30. Nice straight section of track. No worries at all. You can hear the thumping of the track joints and whatnot. When that starts to increase in tempo, you know that you're increasing in speed as well. You can see our fuel's getting used up. Our oil, that gets used over time as well. So I believe there's going to be persistency, so you're going to be able to save your trains, and you'll be able to own trains and even own your the different sort of depots. That's the horn, by the way. Fan. So yeah, you'll have like real persistency. You'll be able to re-rail as well. There'll be a turntable. Looking at the map there, looks good. We've got a bit of a left curve coming up, so, and we are doing pretty good clip at the moment. There's even going to be things like aged tracks, so the tracks will get older and perhaps more damaged and more prone to derailing perhaps. There's going to be roads. You'll have remote control for your shunter as well, so you'll be able to control this remotely. Pocket watch, hazmat jobs. Just going to increase the speed here a little bit whilst I'm reading off this list. Passenger timetable jobs as well, and AI trains are all coming apparently as well. There's going to be an electric locomotive, new cars, new cargo, electric multiple units. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff really. So, okay, we're doing about 40 kilometers an hour now, so just going to take it easy if we can. Can hear the squealing of the rails. Oh no. Okay, we might be going quite fast here, maybe a little bit too fast. As you drive, you can hear the squealing of the rails around the curves. Now, if you hear a deep sort of grinding, that's when you know that you're about to derail as well. You can basically derail at any speed in this sim. Just depends on the curve and the conditions of your train. If you haven't managed the slack correctly in your train, you can upset the load and you can cause a derailment as well. Now, they've made certain enhancements to the derailing lately, so it's actually a lot more tolerant, I should say, about derailing. you won't derail as easily as you used to. Alright, so just rounded that left-hand curve. We've got a right-hand curve coming up as well. Just going to keep an eye on our speed though. Very good, coming up to our right-hand curve. Okay, 30 kilometers an hour, pretty good speed. Not too fast, not too slow. There's some more rocks on the rails. I really hope they fix that up soon. Okay, got our speed under control, I must say, doing quite well at the moment. Just gonna inch on the brakes, just very gently, very, very gently. Okay, and then off the brake again. At least with speed, if you've got less speed, sometimes it's not a bad thing, but obviously it can catch you out too if you're coming up to a big incline and you suddenly lose all your momentum. Looking good so far. You can see the wheels turning under there on this wagon. Alright, so I've got a bit of a curve coming up ahead. So I just want to increase the throttle a little bit because we're slowing down a bit too much here. We can surely take these curves a little bit faster. Just looking for any slack in the train before I apply more throttle, but it's looking good so far. Oh, no, we just picked up another wagon then. You can see the indicator, the speed indicator, if that sort of jumps around like I was saying before, that's when you know you're picking up additional wagons in your train. Okay, so I've got a bit of a left-hand curve coming up here. And there's another viaduct over to the left-hand side, as you can see. There's a tunnel far over to the left. Take it easy as we head around the curve. Okay, so let's see. We need to go straight. Actually, we need to go straight. Where's that switch? Quick. Oh, that was way too close. I just realized at the last moment. So, yeah, it would have gone in the wrong direction. We don't want to go that way, we want to go this way. So anyway, let's put that, whoops, oh no, drop the remote. That does seem to happen sometimes. It's not in our inventory anymore. Oh, that's awesome. So we can't change our track at this point in time because I've just lost the remote, the track remote, which does the switching. We've got a lighter, but that's not going to help us. Oh god, so I've dropped, oh man. And it looks like our train's increasing. This lighter, I tell you. Just playing with the lighter here as our train runs away from us. Perfectly normal. Oh god, that's way too fast, way too fast. Wait, ooh, we ran through those tracks through that point. Oh man, brakes, gently, gently with the brakes. We're doing in excess of 40 kilometers an hour. Gently, 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 gently. Oh, wagons are banging into us. You can see from the speedo. Oh no, this might be the end actually. Oh, thank God, that was way too fast. That was quite close actually. Yeah, and we weren't really doing too much. We were just, well, I was trying to find my remote, and now I'm not sure where the lighter's gone. Anyway, Looks like we've got our speed under control. Just going to keep applying the brake a little bit, compress the train up. Yeah, there goes a wagon smashing into us. There goes another one, I think. Just keep the train compressed for the moment. Keep our speed under control, under control. Better to be going slightly slow. Where is that lighter? I mean, the remote. We've got a left turn coming up eventually. A bit of a curve. And then, yeah, so we do need to find the remote for that one. There's our lighter down there, but I can't find the remote. And we're picking up speed again. I'm gonna have to compress the train. Get back on the brake. Wagon's banging into us. There you go, 2 times now. Okay, looks like we're fully compressed now. So at this point, if you wanted to apply more brake, you could, but I wouldn't apply it too early before the train is fully compressed. So anyway, that's part of what makes this whole thing so fun. Some more rocks. Ouch. Quite wonderful scenery though. Given this is quite early access at the moment, so there's a few little glitches in the terrain, as you can see there. Nothing too terrible. I'm really worried about this remote where it's gone, because we do need it. Oh, some more glitching there. Oh, more glitches. More rocks on the track. No, I can't find this anywhere. Sometimes if you head outside... Oh, there it is. Oh, there's the lighter that just appeared in our inventory. Ah, there it is. Okay, yep, inventory full. So what you do is you just head outside of the engine and you'll get your remote back. So it's just appeared in my inventory towards the bottom right there. So I've got the remote now. Just minor little niggles, but nothing that makes it unplayable. So where's that map? Where's the map? I think I need to... What I need to do, I think, is take something off my inventory. We're slowing down quite a lot now. Hang on, let me just check the track before I start looking at the map again. Everything seems to be going okay. Speed's under control. Okay, so let's put this away, like up here somewhere. There we go. Aha, so there's the map now. Okay, so let's put the map here. Okay, just in time. So we've got this bit of straight section of track mostly coming up, but then we've got a rather reasonable left-hand curve, and we'll need to ensure the switch is set for that. So just increase the throttle ever so slightly. Engine tap's looking good as well. Got a nice reasonable speed going on here, nothing too crazy. Not too slow, not too fast. We're going fast enough to make some good time, but hopefully slow enough so we can slow down if we need to as well. Okay, so I can hear the train. Oh god. Okay, speed's getting away from us. Okay. This is not good. We've got a bit of a curve coming up here. You can hear. We should really be getting on the brake. Onto the brake. Onto the brake. Onto the brake. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Man, it runs away fast, I tell ya. Just ignore that rock, that's annoying. Oh man, slow down, we're going to the left. Where's that? Oh god, where is it? Where's the Okay, it's left hand. Oh no. Oh no, no. Oh, I think we've done it, folks. I think we've actually derailed. Yep, you derailed. And yeah, so we've lost the load, unfortunately. We were going too fast, I guess. The switch was set correctly. Yeah. You see how fast that kind of got away from us? We weren't really... let's just have a look at this switch. Yeah, it looks okay. It's set in the right direction, but we were going to do a fairly sharp left-hander there. So it looks like... You see that little blue peg on the map? So it was going to be a fairly hard left turn. Just chuck that map over there. So it's derailed on the switch quite clearly. This wagon's derailed as well. And so has this one. Yeah, so the whole train's derailed pretty much. I think the engine's fine. We could probably decouple. So yeah, we pretty much forfeited the job, I guess. Now there is re-railing possible in the game coming up soon. So, but in this early access release, we don't have that feature just yet. So, oh, that's a bit of a shame. I was hoping to actually make it to the destination today. Emergency stop. Oops, just chuck the remote around. Why not? Chuck the map on the floor. Now chuck it on the ground. Just throw everything everywhere. So I guess the advantage, at least this time, the derailment was quite low key. Could have been way worse. Let's see how close we did get though. I think, actually, hang on. Hang on. That must be the destination there, I think. That's the harbour and town, I think it is, whatever it is. Oh man, that's really close. Let's just chuck everything around the place. Yeah, that's really close. That's it right there. So, oh, that's a bit of a shame. Oh, maybe next time, more luck, eh? Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.